friends, welcome to the Gardener's Workshop live shopping show. It is your friend Lisa, and guess what? Does anybody know what this is? Friends, we are bringing back one of our most favorite products, and you're going to have to wait into the show to see it. I can't wait for you to see it. It's a big surprise. And today is our Shamrock Show, and this product fits because the rest of it is green, right? So we're just celebrating all things green today. Easy flower arranging tips and tricks. There you go, thank you. A demonstration of our most popular and widely used soil blocking tool. I'll be sowing some zinnias. Am I sowing zinnias, sister? Yeah. I am sowing zinnias. And then we're going to showcase some of our favorite green flowers and foliage. And Suzanne's doing a demonstration too. Did I skip right over that? Oh, I did. And Suzanne is easy flower arranging and tips and tricks with Susie Q. That's my sister. And we will be doing a prize drawing for in-app viewers for a giveaway. So be sure you stick with us to the end. You enter, and then at the end, we pull it. And as always, I'm going to do a little live Q&A at the very end, and I'll answer a few questions. And the way you submit your questions is to put at Lisa and put your question, and the team will gather those up and pick a few. And then...
I just want to say, I see people from Hampton saying hi and Williamsburg, so they're local. Don't forget we have local pictures.
Oh, great announcement. So Kelly just pointed out to me that we see that we have a lot of locals on here. And friends, you know, it's like one of the best kept secrets. Did you know that we offer free local pickup? That's one of the shipping choices here in the app and also on our big website. You click that when you're checking out and there's no charge for it. And then the team reaches out to you once your order is processed, packaged, and ready for pickup, and they'll give you the address. And we're located in Denby. We don't have a store for you to visit, but we have a warehouse, and you are invited to pick up there for orders that were placed. So awesome. Good pick there, Kelly. So before we get started, we know that it's word of mouth that builds our audience over here, and we thank you guys for that. And an easy way to share is to hit that share button. That's the little box with the arrow in it. You can tap that and invite your friends and let them know that you're over here at the live show and make them aware of it, and we love that. And then a couple little housekeeping things. Please be sure you double check your phone number and your email address here in the app. Frequent flyer, y'all, that there's typos in those, and then if you place an order and we have an issue, we can't ship it without a valid email address. So be sure you update those. And remember, here in app only, one of the features that we offer is seed packet only orders ship for free, right? And we appreciate it when you order 3 or more packs. And so also there's a cap on product shipping. So that means it doesn't matter how many products you purchase. You're only charged $9.95 for shipping. And we ship to all 50 of the United States. Now, if you are coming to us today, perhaps for the first time over on social media, Facebook and Instagram, we're so glad you're here. But what you need to know is that we do have a phone app. It's free. It takes about 30 seconds to download it. And when you're in the app, you get to participate in the giveaways, and you can carry on conversations with the other viewers. You can build favorites lists. You can watch replays. It's just a lot of good reasons to actually get inside the app. So you can pop over to your phone's app store and search Gardener's Workshop. And we have 2. The one you want is the Shop app. And grab that, and then that'll just level up your experience a lot. So it happens every week that we sell out of some product that I talk about. And so if you go to a product to put it in your cart and it says, sorry, out of stock, get on the wait list. You want to get on the wait list because our website and our app don't talk. So that means the team sometimes is bringing more stock over from the big website. And that just simply means that you're going to get a little notification when it's back, especially for stuff that's on sale. You don't want to miss the sale, right? And friends, if you are seeing people that are posting the sunflower emoji, that is part, and this is my green, by the way, y'all. I don't have a green shirt. this is our logo, and it's got the sunflower on it. And our online course students, and I'm giving a big shout out to all of my students that attended the fast track last night. Had so much fun sharing my garden plan. And if you see people posting that sunflower, those are people identifying themselves as part of the TGW family. So totally love that. So friends, you know, we give a giveaway every week, and this week is once again a $25 store credit. So hit that white box, and that will put you on the wait list that we pull from at the end of the show. So a $25 store credit, and the team will pop that into your inbox, and excuse me, we will get that in your cart if you are the lucky winner. All right, so friends, we always start each show off with my books, and I'm on a little tangent now where I'm highlighting some of the stuff in the book, right? So my first book that I want to talk about is the Cut Flower Handbook. This is the most recent, and this is an absolutely beautiful hardback book. I'll show you my favorite. Look at this. I mean, this is the table of contents. Look how beautiful. The imagery is just absolutely fabulous in this. But what I wanted to point out, because this is one of the things that I've been talking my students through right now, is succession planting. And I just wanted to show, this is in the book, and this book shows you 2 years worth of succession. It's 2 beds, spring, summer, fall, winter, and then guess what? You turn the page, and year 2, spring, summer, fall, winter, it shows you, it actually gives lists. But once you study this, sit down and look at it with all the background noise off, and it'll help you to see how succession planting works. And it is just totally awesome. And then I also wanted to show this for all of our flower growing people. This has an extensive conditioning information in it. This is talking about the bacteria that happens when stems hit the water. And so, you know, we talk about conditioning flowers all the time in here. When I tell you that if somebody says, I'd really love to grow cut flowers, but I'm not sure where to start, this is the book you say, here. This is what you need. That's why, this is how I wrote that book. So, wanted to share that. And then Vegetables Love Flowers is my book that really shares about the way that I garden and farm. And what I wanted to show in here was the result. The point of this book is not about growing vegetables. It's about how flowers bring those beneficial creatures into your garden to benefit your vegetables. And so this whole section right here, see that's a catbird or a mockingbird actually. And then it's got some different beneficial insects over here. It's actually talking about why you would want to plant flowers in your vegetable garden. So it's not about vegetables. And then once it convinces you that you need to add flowers to your vegetable patch, then it tells you how to do it. And it has a grate in the back, some of my steps that I follow, not using pesticides at all. So Vegetables Love Flowers also comes with a video book study, and would love to sign one for you because I sign all of my books, y'all, when you buy them from us. And then, of course, the book that started it all, Cool Flowers, and the book that I never dreamed that I would actually take the plunge and write a book, right? So I wanted just to read you these couple of lines. This is on page 95, chapter 7 of Cool Flowers. Learn from your garden. She sends signs all the time. You just have to take notice. Living with hardy annuals in the garden has been my best teacher. I remember rooting around in the garden in the fall of my 2nd year growing commercially. Boy, that was a long time ago. And finding the pleasant surprise of self-sown Bupleurum and Ami baby seedlings scattering about. Realizing when the flowers choose to sprout on their own in my garden helped me to tweak when I should sow hardy annuals in the future. Keep on learning. So Cool Flowers is really the step-by-step of how to grow cool season hardy annuals where you are. It helps you delineate all that. It's like the first baby step. And this also comes with a video book study. So I would love to sign one of the books for you. And that's really, it's like ground zero, right? That's where you start, and then they become great reference tools for you. All right, so tip of the day. Susie Q, are you doing this?
I'm doing this.
Okay, let me move out your way.
Hi guys, we're going to do some flower arranging and just show you our great flower arranging tools. But first we're going to do some tips of the day, and it's about flower arranging. Everybody wants a beautiful flower arrangement. Well, I have news for you. Flowers are beautiful. You really can't mess it up. No matter what you do, they're still going to be beautiful. So don't be afraid. Get out there and try. Kelly wanted me to remind you guys that if the comments are in the way of what you're seeing, just swipe left or swipe right, and they'll go away, and you just swipe again and they'll come back. Practice, practice, practice. The more you practice arranging, the better you'll become at it. So just start getting flowers regularly from your garden or from the retail store and bring them home and just try different things. Don't be afraid. The other thing I always like to keep in mind when I'm doing an arrangement is, where is it going to be used? My favorite is on a table, low on the table, beautiful all the way around. But sometimes you need a big arrangement. It's going up against a wall or on a mantle. Then you want to just look at the angles from the front. But if it needs to be seen all the way around, you want to be sure to turn it often and make sure that it's beautiful from all sides. The next thing is the greenery. You can never have enough greenery. It helps fill holes. It makes it just poofier. So always get extra greenery. If you're buying a bouquet out in the retail, it's great if they sell single sleeves of greenery, or you can use things from your yard. A lot of shrubs will hold up well in a vase, and you just have to play with those and bring them in and try them. Clean container. I used to tell our ladies that would pick up flowers from our garden share program, if you are not willing to drink out of your vase, then don't put your flowers in there. When you put a flower into a dirty vase, it starts out with bacteria, and that lessens the life of your flower. So you want to be sure that you use a very clean container. If it's dishwasher safe, I would say run it through the dishwasher. You also want to strip all of the foliage off of your flowers. You don't want any foliage down in the water, because the foliage in the water breaking down makes the flower not last as long, because the water becomes dirty quickly. So be sure to strip all that foliage off that's going to be under your water level. And be sure to make sure it has water. When you're growing flowers in your own garden, or if you're a farmer, you know that fresh grown flowers drink a lot of water. So you have to check it every day and fill up the water. Retail flowers, not quite as much, but I'm going to show you some things that you can do to help them drink more, to make them last longer too. Sunlight. We never want those flowers in sunlight. Once they're cut, whether they're at the farmer's market, in my house, in a window, you want them out of direct sunlight. After the flower is cut, sun is an enemy. Fades them out, makes them wilt, so just keep them out of direct sunlight. You also can keep your arrangement longer and looking better if you just deadhead it. If there's a flower that fades, just snip it off. You can pull it out if you can do that without messing up your arrangement. You can always just cut off the dead flower and enjoy the rest. So just a few tips to help you get better at arranging flowers so that you can enjoy them. And it's also great to give them as gifts. So the deal of the day is 20% off flower food. And this says both kinds. Okay, so we'll have to look at that. Price is marked, no coupon code needed, in-app only while supplies last through Sunday at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. We're going to start out first with the CVBN tabs. And I'm starting out with them because this is the first thing we use on the farm. So these are little chlorine tablets, and we put this in every bucket on the farm. If you're cutting flowers out of your own garden, then you want to be sure to use this in the water. What does it do? It kills all the bacteria that's going to be in that water. Why is this better than just putting a little chlorine and a Clorox in there? This is stable for 72 hours. So when you add this to your water and your flowers take their first drink of water, they're getting clean water, and it will stay clean for 72 hours. After that, we usually would move them onto flower food or holding solution, depending on where those flowers are going. But the CVBN tab, 80 count, one bottle is $18.95, or you can get 2 bottles for $29.95. And again, we put these in every bucket of water on the farm. Only exception would be basils and hydrangeas. We don't usually use them in that, but every other flower benefits from having this in the water. All right, so next we're going to have the fresh flower food. So this is the universal fresh flower food. Again, this helps keeps the water clean. It gives them a little something to move the flowers along and make them happy. And this is just going to add life to your flower. You can use this. I would change the water out in a few days, and if you have extra packs of this, then you could put more of this in. All of that is going to help extend the life of your flower. So this is universal. We use this for everything. Wouldn't use it with hydrangeas, but if you have hydrangeas in a bouquet of mixed flowers, I would still use this. Now, this is, they have a quart size packet, and 50 of those is $9.56.
Sale price.
The sale price. And 100 quart packs are $15.96, and 100 pint packs are $10.36.
That's a deal.
So this is the universal. You want to always have these on hand. Next up, we have the bulb fresh flower food. Why do you need bulb fresh flower food? This has an extra hormone in it that helps those bulb, like daffodils, things you're getting this time of year. Daffodils, dahlias, I think. Tulips, all of the
Tuberoses,
anything that comes,
grows.
anything that comes from a bulb. This has a hormone in it that helps it not the leaves from yellowing. It keeps the leaves green on the foliage. And this you can also use in any flower arrangement. So it doesn't harm those flowers that don't need the hormone, but it helps those flowers that do. So the bulb cut flower food comes in quarts, and a 50 pack is $9.56 on sale, and 100 is $15.96. So you always want to have those on hand. They really extend the life of your flowers. So now we have holding solution. Holding solution we use, it's like a little tea bag, just like you put in your cup of tea. And what it does is it keeps the bacteria out of the water, but it doesn't give the flowers anything to move along. So this would be for somebody that's selling flowers or wants to sit on flowers and not have them progress. So this you would use in place of flower food to hold the flowers longer. When you want the flowers to progress and open up for your own pleasure or event, then you would use the flower food. So the holding solution tea bag, the small tea bags for half a gallon of water, 100 count is $18.95, 200 count is $29.95. We also have the large, which is for a gallon of water, 100 count is $36.95, and 200 count is $58.95. And both of those, all of these steps benefit your flower and just add just days to your flower. So now it's the big returning item. This was one of our favorite products. People still ask about it today.
We love this darn thing.
And everyone should have one. You should be giving this to your mom for Mother's Day. This is our flower caddy. And what is so special about this flower caddy? Not only is it wonderful to take with you out in the yard, you're going to cut flowers and you have some place to put it. The bonus to this is it doesn't tip over in a car, so you can take it with you to the store or to the farmer's market to get your retail flowers, put them in water immediately, and it won't tip over when you're going around the corner at 40 miles an hour, Lisa.
Yeah, we have to tell them the story. You know, the ladies that would come here and pick up flowers from our members-only market, how many Suburbans did we see almost on two wheels going around the corners leaving our farm with these loaded in the back of their car? I mean, I'm telling you, yes, you could make it tip over probably, but when you load it properly, this is like such a help if you transport flowers.
And so the great thing about this today, it's $59.95. These are made in North Carolina, so that's so close to us. They used to come from California, so we're so happy they're close to us, which helps us pass on the savings and shipping to you. But on top of that, this weekend only, the shipping is capped at your $9.95. Usually there's an additional charge because this goes in a special size box. So the savings is $2.95 to $10.86 depending on where you live. So be sure to get your flower caddy this weekend before they go back at regular price or back onto our big website. So $59.95 for gardeners and farmers. Sort flowers by size to prevent them from getting crushed. Lisa would use this for our
poppies, sweet peas,
the little stuff. Yeah, sort by size. And the base is sturdy, easy handle to carry, quality made plastic, proudly made in the USA. Yay!
So I would be really interested. Kelly will tell us. But if there's anybody watching that has one of these, chime in and tell us what you think. 'Cause we use about 6 of them here on our farm, and we just absolutely love them.
And this is one of our old ones. The new ones are a little shinier and darker green, but we've had them for years, and they hold quite a bit of flowers. and let you decide what sizes you're using.
And you know, sister, didn't we even use them for displaying at the farmer's
We
market?
did.
We put a bouquet in each one.
We did.
Yep.
We had this long, skinny container, and we would just
Table.
just a table, and we would put just the bottoms, take that because the handles screw out, and just put the bottoms and had our bouquets in them too.
Yeah,
so
that
that
was
was
awesome.
really great. So be sure to get your flower caddy. Next up, we have our shear and pouch kit. Now, Lisa, where's yours? Oh, I've got it right here. This is Lisa's old shear and pouch.
It's not old.
It is old. Mine's not quite as old as hers, but when we sell them, we do sell the new ones. Sorry, hers are not for sale. But the shear and the pouch are the best thing. These are bonsai shears, and they're spring loaded, so they're very easy on your hands. You can cut things very easily. We cut big sunflowers, woodies, not real big, but a good sized woody would cut on this. And they just are easier on our hands. We used to use big Felcos, and not only did we lose them all the time, they're heavy and they're just not as easy to use as these. The pouch has a clip on it, which clips right on your pocket so you don't have to wear a belt. And we never lose them. This will fit any size, just about any shear. But with that on our hip, we're constantly putting them back into our pouch. We don't set them down. We don't lose them. They don't get lost in the garden. So the shear and pouch kit is $55.95. It's available also separately in the app. And you just got to have them. Even if you just tinker around the yard, they just make life so much easier when you have a good shear. Next up, we have our florist knife. Now, this is a florist knife. It is Swiss Army knife. People make this. It's very sharp, and although it is not my go-to for arranging flowers,
Don't cut yourself.
This is what florists, I shouldn't be cutting that first thing, huh? This is what florists use, and they just cut them on their against their finger and just make quick work at arranging. It's also very sharp to just use for anything. And I think it's assorted colors, so
Right.
you get whichever color comes out. $29.95, and very quality tool. Next up, we have our strippers. I was going to strip one of these. I got some retail flowers on the way in today so that we could show you arranging. We don't have anything blooming in the farm out in the field yet. But this is a beautiful hydrangea. And you can see this has a little hole right there. You just slip it on, and you just pull it down. And it just cuts off everything. This works for roses to get the daggone thorns
Sunflowers.
off. Sunflowers, anything that you have a lot of stripping to do, this just makes easy work of it. The stripper is $19.95. It's something you have in your toolbox, and you just keep it forever because you know you're going to need it. All right, next up we have the Easy Arrangers. So first we're going to show you our Easy Arranger 3-pack, and this is how it comes. But our suggestion to you is get some organza bags, and you can split up the 3-pack, and you can have 3 gifts, and it makes a sweet little hostess gift or a Mother's Day gift. But
Easter.
Yeah, it's a great little gift. But right now I'm going to show you how you arrange in it. And then we also have, Kelly, if you bring up the single. So this is the 6-inch, the single, which is the size that's on here. And you just fold it down over whatever size container you have. And you can see this one's been folded down. And the great thing about this is that when you put a flower in, it holds it in place. And you can just arrange more and more. Quick tip on Bells of Ireland. I picked these up retail, and I picked out the straightest ones. And then when I put my bucket in the garage, it fell over without me knowing, and it was like this. So Bells of Ireland will bend if you do not keep them upright and straight.
And so if I remember right, one of our volunteers educated me. I think that's called because they're geotrophic.
Right.
I'm not sure that's what happens to them. They bend.
If you're making a big arrangement, that can be a benefit, you know. I mean, just use whatever you get. And it just makes everything stand up straight. Now look, guys, this I did cut from the farm. These Lenten roses I cut from Lisa's shade garden this morning. And the tip on these is that when they're upright, facing upright like that, that's the time you cut them to use them. The rest of the whole bed had their heads down, but you want their heads to be up. And it just holds them into place where you put them. And so you can take just a few flowers and make a beautiful arrangement. I'd probably cut this one shorter And look how beautiful that would be. So this is the Easy Arranger. The single pack is $8.95, or you can get 2 of this 6-inch size, and they are $15.50, and that's the single pack there. So the Easy Arranger is just great to have around. Talk about a hostess gift. You can take flowers with that and tell them to keep it. That's a great hostess gift. Okay, next up we have the mason jar. So this is the mason jar, and you can see it's got like chicken wire in the middle.
Galvanized.
And, yeah, it's galvanized. This fits on top of any standard lid mason jar. This is a quart.
And it fits the pint too.
And it fits the pint as long as they have the standard mouth. So you can use this for a bigger arrangement or a smaller arrangement. But this as well, cut these guys a little bit shorter. It works the same way. It holds them in the place that you want them. So look how that makes that stand up straight. Then you can add your Lenten roses around, and you can just take a few flowers and make a big arrangement out of them, and they'll just be beautiful. So the mason jar frog weathered chicken, 1 pack is $8.95, or you can get a 2-pack for $15.50. That way you can keep one for yourself and you can have one for a friend. Okay, next up we have the floral coated wire. So this is how it comes. It is 12 inches by 48 inches, and it is the kinder, gentler chicken wire, and it's also coated so it doesn't rust. And this is one Lisa's used for church flowers for years. You just cut a piece, ball it up, stuff it into your crock.
A loose ball.
A loose ball, you stick it into your crock, and this will hold even sunflowers. So you just want to make sure it's stuck in there good, and I mean that, how amazing is that? So you can continue to fill in the rest of your flowers.
This
and
is
make
like
a
the
beautiful
flower
arrangement.
arranger's secret weapon. They don't tell anybody.
Yeah, I mean, this poor blue chlorum did not fare well from the store, but this just makes easy work and will hold even big flowers. The coated wire is $12.95, and it's 12 inches by 48 inches. And that's something you want to keep on hand and have in your little toolkit all the time. All right, so next up we have the Oasis tape. Here it is, clear tape, just like tape you would know to wrap a gift with, but it's thicker and it's waterproof. And what we do with it is we build a grid on top of a container, and you just put your piece on, you cut it. I would leave it down on the side just a little bit so that it has room to grip. And then what it does, let me move this down so you can see, is again, it holds the flowers exactly in place where you want it to. Florists use these all the time. Our florist we used to sell to had a girl in the back, and that's all she did was all day long she put this tape on the containers they used, and it just lets you do so much with so little.
That's parvula gum, isn't
This is
it?
parvula gum.
We have babies to show you.
Yep, and this is in the show today. But you can just make a little bit go a long way, and make it gorgeous in just a few flowers. So that is the Oasis tape. It's $8.95, and you get 60 yards, so that's enough to last you for a really long time. All right, next up we have the Stay Put candle grips. I'm sorry y'all can't see me and see the stuff I'm working on at the same time, but we're working on it. So this is the Stay Put candle grip. This is what it looks like. And these are like a little sponge, and they have grippy stuff on one side. And we have these for years. We just reuse them over and over. You just put them on top of your end of your candle there. You push it down into your holder, and it stays where you put it. And you don't have to do any melting candles or anything like that. It stays where you put it every time. Use it over and over. And if you have a big candle, you can put like 3 around it. Just use 3 around the big candle and push it down, and it'll stay where you want it to. Stay Put candle grips are $8.95. Again, something you just want to keep in your little toolkit to use all the time. Sister?
Yeah.
Do you see somehow my little vase didn't, the display one didn't make it up here. Next up, it's down on the bottom shelf down there. I thought that I'd picked one up, but I didn't. All right, so next up we have the candle grip vases. And here they are. Lisa's going to bring one up, and I'm going to show you.
Not a candle grip vase, just a candle vase.
I'm sorry, a candle vase. So this is just a little plastic frog container, And you put a little water in it, and then you just simply slip it over your candle, and then you arrange in it. Let me get this down so you can see a little bit better back here. And you can put any precious little flower in there. You can get things out of your yard. I usually like to leave the stem a little bit longer than you think and actually put it in at an angle, and it just tends to stay better. But how precious is this to take just a plain old candle to a flower arrangement in just a few little snips. And this, again, is the perfect hostess gift. I mean, look how beautiful that would be on your Easter table. So the little candle ring vase comes in a 2-pack. It's $14.95, and it's removable. The lid's removable so you can clean it. And get one for yourself and one for a girlfriend, because this is just great to reuse.
And they're acrylic, right? Not glass.
They're acrylic, so they're not going to break easily on you. All right, next up we have the vase brush. Now, the vase brush is very versatile. It's kind of a foamy kind of feeling.
What is
this?
that?
I don't know. It's some kind of foam. Doesn't really say. It's made in the USA.
Lasts forever.
Yeah. And we use this to clean the irrigation filters on the farm, hummingbird feeders. We use them to clean our humidifiers. But what we really like to clean with them is a vase. So this you can turn, and it'll stay whatever shape you want to be able to get all those cracks and crevices and all those vases or anything you have that you can't get your hand down in to clean.
C-packs.
Yep. The vase brush is $13.95, made in the USA, and foam bendable. Jesse's typing. Foam. Inquiring minds want to know bristles. Okay, foam bristles. So that is our vase brush, and we've sold those for years at shows, and people love them. They come back and get them for gifts for friends. Next up, we have our espresso watering can. This is one of our favorites. It's stainless steel. It holds 2 cups of water, and it has a gentle flow, so it's great to water your soil blocks because it doesn't have a big, splash of water that's going to knock them apart. This is also great to fill your flower arrangements because it's a gentle, gentle flow. But what I love best is to put flowers in it. I haven't used many of these hydrangeas, and my favorite way to arrange flowers is just to do it in my hand and then stuff it in the container. So let's do that. There's not much more arranging to do, so we'll try to do one for you here.
Those bells of Ireland are kind of like in your face, aren't they?
They got their own thing going on, don't they? So you can just take a beautiful little bunch of flowers.
Cut it hard.
And Lisa says cut it hard. I always cut it too long because I'm always afraid. Don't be afraid to cut your flowers short.
And don't cut your finger off.
Don't cut your fingers. And of course you would want to remove all of this foliage, but for time's sake I'm not going to do that right now on camera. And you just put them down in your little container. And of course, containers that you're going to have on a table that you want to be able to see over are best. But it's just precious. This is my personality right here sticking out, my curls. Okay, so the espresso watering can is $31.95. It's beautiful just to leave on your shelf after you've watered your houseplants too. So bonus, 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 great gift. All right, so next up we have our little craft sleeves. So this is the little 12-inch craft sleeve that we've let the kids decorate, probably Susie. And you can use it for whatever event you have, a birthday, Mother's Day, anything. And it's so simple to use. I just love these hydrangeas. I could just bite them. You just slip the flowers in, and not only does it protect the flowers, it also just, can give it a little personality. This might have been a little bit too big for this one. Get it. There you go. You want to kind of bring it up just a little bit so that the flowers are protected, and then we usually rubber band the bottom. The 12-inch 10-pack is $5.25. What a deal! Even if you're going to get retail flowers and have little bouquets for teachers or something, and the kids can decorate the craft sleeve.
That's a great idea.
10-pack is $5.25. 50-pack is $21.95. And it says added, drawing stamps. You can use. If you're a farmer, you can use your farm stamper sticker on this. We used to do that on some others. So this is the small, which is the 12-inch. Next up we have the 20-inch. Now the 20-inch is what we used to use for our big pre-made bouquets. and it's pretty much a lot bigger. So I'll just put these in here to give you a gauge of how much bigger they are. You can see you can fit quite a few flowers in there. And a 10 pack is $6.25, a 50 pack is $24.95. Next we have the clear bags. Now we used to have a grocery store that required clear bags, and these actually
Sleeves,
to me,
not bags.
I'm sorry,
Sleeves.
sleeves. And
Here, I'll hold it for you.
these are actually easier to use.
Yep.
You just turned it the wrong, no, you got it right away. So the other ones you have to feed through. This one, you just pull it. We usually have this hanging on one of our racks. You know, there's holes in the top. We just put a little hook
We
in our
use
rack.
shower rack hooks.
Yep.
See, there's holes in it so you can hang it on something so you can do it by yourself.
So this protects the flowers. It does show more of the flowers from the side than the other sleeves do. Just depends on what you want, what you're working for. 50 pack is $29.95, and you can add colored tissue paper to make it fun. So next we are going to do the colored decorative bouquet sheet, and I'm going to do this. Here it is, beautiful green, great for today.
Reusable.
And so we're going to put this sleeve back on, and we're going to pull it in. And see, that just kind of jazzes it up a little bit. It makes it prettier and stand out. So it's non-woven, material is porous, it's breathable, pre-cut X in the center for ease of use. Lime green complements flowers of all colors. Used with a clear or craft bouquet sleeve. 10 pack is $7.95 and a 50 pack is $31.95. And I've also, out of desperation, used this for tissue paper in a bag. You give a bag gift, and the tissue is usually disposable, but this you can use over and over again.
And you know, flower farmers, I found that offering this at the farmer's market as like an upsell, you know, it's like, do you want to dress up that bouquet you're getting, you know what I mean? So it's really a lot of fun stuff. All right, so now we're soil blocking, sister. Come help me find the right spot. Up close.
Yep, as close as you can get.
All right,
There you go.
friends. So, actually, maybe, wait a minute. I want to show you something first. So, I sewed these 2 weeks ago. These are about 12 days old. These are basils, y'all. This is our mini tray, which is like 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. This is 20 little plants, and I just watered them, so they're still a little wet. And y'all, it's lemon basil. It's worth growing lemon basil off season just to get the smell. But this is 20 of the little blocks that I'm getting ready to show you. And I wanted to show you those beautiful eucalyptus. This is the parvula gum. And these were started in a small block, and they're now bumped up to the large block. Because, you know, eucalyptus is super slow growing. This is it, that little leaf. This is my favorite. I love it because it's got a small leaf and it's dark green, so it's more usable, right? And so they're coming along, and these will be ready to plant out in the garden probably right mid-April or so. So now I want to make the small soil blocks for you. And this is our ready-made mix. And we put about 3 parts of the dry mix, whether you make your own with the DIY or use the ready-made. 3 parts mixed to 1 part water, so it's a lot wetter. This is the small soil blocker, the one that I use primarily most of the time. And I just push it down into the mix, and I do it twice so that I know that the chambers are nice and full.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's good.
And be sure to swipe left or right to get rid of those comments if they're blocking your view.
And I use a potato masher to strike off the excess, because you know you want to put them on your tray and have them as clean as possible, just because you don't want a lot of loose soil floating around. So we use those flat bottom trays with no drainage holes. I give it a push and a pull, and there I just made 20 little small containers, y'all. All you add every year is just soil and seeds. So I'm gonna get rid of this. All right, so here's what we just made. How awesome is that? 20 little containers, y'all. And I'm gonna sow zinnia seeds if Suzanne will come hold for me. And so these are not coated, so they won't be as easy to see. But for those that aren't familiar with zinnia seeds, they look like little arrowheads. They are kind of long and skinny, so a lot of times people think you couldn't use this. Well, you can. You literally just put one of the pointy ends down and just push it into the block. And friends, that is how I plant zinnias, marigolds, cosmos, all of those long skinny seeds that we frequently get asked, you mean you start zinnias in that small block? And yes, we do. And that's how you sow them. And you may not be able to tell, but can you tilt down a little bit? But the tail is still sticking out, and that's perfectly okay. You're just pushing, so like 80 to 90% of the seed is actually covered. And so that's how we start all these annuals. And zinnias, we typically start them 2 to 3 weeks before it's time to plant them, and we don't plant them until after our last spring frost. So mark your calendars accordingly. Now, how can you get started? So let's clear. There's a lot of... I've been cleaning up after my sister for 60 years, y'all.
Stop. Reverse that.
All right, so how do you get started soil blocking? So the Soil Block Maker Kit has been our customer favorite for over a decade and a half. So in the Soil Block Maker Kit comes the small blocker, which is what I start 95% of our seeds in. The only time I don't use this blocker is when the seed is too large to fit in here. And that would be, think sweet peas, sunflower seeds, zucchini seeds. They're all just too big, right? But when you need the big one, you need it. But this is the one that I use. So the kit includes the small blocker. It includes, let's see, you get 3 packs of seeds, and you get to select whether you would like 3 packs of warm season seeds, which would be the zinnias, the coxcomb, and the basil mix, or you can select 3 cool seeds, which is the rudbeckia, feverfew, and some snapdragons. So you select that at checkout. It includes my Seed Starting Made Easy online course, y'all. This course will take you from beginning to end for soil blocking, for direct sowing seeds out in the garden, for sowing sunflowers in plug trays, and how to use the commercial Swift Blocker tool. So that comes with it, and it comes with 5 of these trays that hold 3 sets of 20. It comes with the toothpicks, which is what we use to sow all those tiny seeds with, and the aluminum seed pan that has no static electricity in it, y'all. And it comes with these little wooden plant tags, but I use those like tools to handle my soil blocks. And most importantly, it includes the ready-made mix. This bag makes about 600 of those little 3/4 inch blocks, y'all. It goes a long way. So you get all of that, all of this, plus the course and the seeds for $89.95. And it's just our customer favorite because you're set up to soil block, to make soil blocks with this kit. And it's just makes it pretty simple to get started. Now, we also have, for those folks that like to make their own blocking mix at home, we have the Make Your Own Blocking Mix to get started. And that's what this is. So this includes a cocoa fiber brick. You drop this in water and it swells to 2 gallons. And there it is, a picture of it, how it actually happens. It has the DIY nutrient mix, which is rock phosphate powder and green sand. We have the compost that goes in the recipe, the manure compost, and most importantly, it has the sifter. This fits perfectly on top of a 5-gallon bucket, y'all. We recommend sifting everything for seed starting. Compost, the ready-made mix, your peat moss if you're using that, the cocoa fiber. You just don't want any chunks, right? Those chunks are awesome to add to your garden or to big containers, but not for starting seeds. So this includes the sifter, everything you need to make your own, and it's $59.95. Everything is available here in the app to purchase separately except for the cocoa fiber brick, which you'll find those over on our big website. So it's about a 5% savings, and it's $59.95, and that just makes making it a whole lot easier. this green. We're into green today, y'all. I didn't realize how many of our favorite products are green. Now that I'm just sitting here looking at this lineup, it's really pretty amazing. This is a compost bucket, and we absolutely love this. People use it for a lot of other things, bird seed, dog food, that kind of stuff. But I use this in my kitchen. It has a tight-fitting lid. I have found you do not need a filter. It's $15.95. It's super lightweight, and it is, I don't know what size this is, but it's plenty big enough for you to put your kitchen scraps into. Totally love that. Look at this. This is we call this the tiny scoop. It's actually, the official name is the handy little scoop. This is great. I have found a couple things. I've actually watered from one of these into containers, especially those inside the house. It works for bird seed, for dog food, for cat food, for filling in soil, for putting fertilizer into big containers. Love this little handy scoop. Holds 1 cup. It's made in England, and we've just found all kinds of uses. It's $7.95. So we really love this little guy. So we're gonna pop a top again today, y'all. So it's that season for Slug X. Another green one, y'all. So this is another English-made product. So this is the Slug X. Slugs are prevalent, particularly in shade gardens, and so according to Cornell University students, they did a study, beer is an excellent attractor of slugs, particularly a particular brand. Oh my goodness, surprises me. Look, ours has slugs in it. Look at that. Our Susie is a potter also. So she made these precious little slugs. Look at those guys. And here's another one. Oh my gosh, y'all.
They do not come with the slugs.
Yeah, they do not come with slugs. You have to have your own slugs, y'all. All right, so the Slug X has these wells to hold the beer. And Suzanne, this is the preferred brand, Pabst Blue Ribbon, and I believe it's because it's yeastier, right? It attracts more slugs. So Suzanne is gonna pop the top and probably splash me in the flake. Nope, she didn't. And literally, you just pour the beer into the wells, and then why is it, you could just put this in a saucer, but let me tell you why a saucer's not nearly as great. Because A, you put a top on this, and that keeps the rain and the weather out, but more importantly, it keeps the golden retrievers from eating the pickled slugs.
And the raccoons.
And the raccoons. So I typically put a cinder block on top of this, and the slugs enter from the side, they fall in and drown. This is perhaps one of the best tools to have for spring. Please pour that out too. All right, so it's $15.95. I'm sorry, $19.95. Sorry, I'm on the wrong product. So friends, I love this foam wire tie. Look at it, it holds its form. You can find a lot of different uses out in the garden. So it's wire with foam on it. There's 32 feet of it. You can cut it to size, and $15.95. It's just reusable over and over again. A lot of times when I am working with not vines like sweet peas, more permanent vines, like I have a honeysuckle, a native honeysuckle out there, this is a great product to actually use for more permanent vines and things like that. So we love this stuff. Now, Suzanne's favorite is this Velcro. So this is what we use to help our tomato plants when they're growing up. And the best part of this is not using it. The best part is taking it down because it just pulls apart. Unlike people using strings and ties and pantyhose and all that stuff, this is also reusable from year to year. I just have a basket I ball up and throw all this stuff in for whatever I'm trying to tie up, and it happens frequently, right? So this is 1/2 inch by 50 feet long. It's $7.95. It's reusable, and you can just cut it to any length that you actually need it. So this is our grow through support that is part of our kit. And so these legs go on the support, which is this round, and then you push it down and the plants grow up through it, right? So this is like a permanent flower support netting, right? And we use it in containers because we grow a lot of tall flowers in our containers. It's $10.95. It's powder coated. It's got a 12, this one is a 12-inch head, and the legs are 18 inches long. So this is great for supporting any plant, but this particular one, we like to use it into the containers. And that is actually a big part of the container protection kit. And so, I don't know about you, but I have squirrels and birds just ravaging my big container. So this is like one of those half whiskey barrel type of containers, big. And I'd plant my lettuce and you come out in the morning, it's all dug up, right, and thrown on the ground, which led me to start doing this. This kit includes one of those grow-throughs, right, that you just saw. And then it has our insect netting. The insect netting does not trap heat like row cover does. It's more see-through and it's much more durable. You then drape the insect netting, the grow-through is stuck in the container and suspended above whatever it is you're protecting. Then you put the insect netting over it, and look at the little belt. That is our flexi tie. I love this stuff. And you know why I love it? Because it holds a darn knot. Unlike most of these types of products, right? You can actually tie it. And when you install it like that, they just don't even know it's under there, right? So the container protection kit is $21.95. And just think about, if you do that immediately when you plant, they don't even know that stuff is under there, right? So want to remind everybody, if you haven't already entered our giveaway, click the white button and that will put you on the actual list that we're going to choose from at the end of the show, which is rapidly getting here. So I always show and just give the tips. Sorry, y'all, something's in my eye. The desiccant packs. This is the way you store seeds properly. Cool, dry storage is what makes seeds live for a really long time. These absorb any moisture that might be present in the air and keep them cool. You can get a 2-pack for $2.95 or a 10-pack for $9.95. And so that is just going to help you to get your seeds stored properly. And you know, people are so surprised by this, is why I like to offer it up, is that, you know, here on the farm, we no longer sit on bulk seed. I literally send an order up to the warehouse and my seeds come off the same shelf that your seeds that are being sent to you. So it's kind of like an extra, you know, quality control and follow up. And so we just love being able to do that. We just love that we're growing the same seeds that you are. So what's blooming? Now, we've gone green, y'all. So this is one of our favorite green flowers. This is cress. It's the green, I always forget, green dragon. I always want to call it green wizard. It has got this beautiful green head that actually dries like this. You know, it turns tan, but how cool is that? They're just the neatest little seed heads. So that's cress, green dragon. This is Persian cress. It's kind of the same, but very different. I love this one. And then look at it dried. They're really useful wreath material. Love them. They're both cool flowers, and boy, do I love this. This is Atriplex, the green, and you know, all three of these, you're growing them for the seed heads, not the blooms for so far. And we love Atriplex. All of those are actually cool flowers, as is Bells of Ireland, y'all, which Susie Q, I was so glad to see that she had picked up some at the store. Look how, I mean, Bells of Ireland, you just can't go wrong with them. That's one of the most coveted flowers that we have found. So these are a cool flower. And then, of course, Buplurum. My students are starting Buplurum like crazy right now. I saw several pictures this morning. This is what Buplurum looks like. And it's just a great, amazing filler. And then Ami Mage, this is actually Ami Green Mist, which is kind of a thicker, heavier head than the Ami Magus. Love that one. And then look at this Nigella. Those are the green pods. This is the white, the green marbles. Love this one. Anything that's light and bright like this and neutral is so useful, y'all, as flowers. And then, of course, we have our giant poppy pods. Totally love them. And then where would we be without eucalyptus, right? This is the silver dollar. And this is the biggest leafed one. And here's the one you saw today. This is the parvulagum. And that's the small leaf. This one. This is why I love this stuff, y'all. It's just got a small leaf. It's a little bit darker. So it's just more useful, right, than having gray. So this was one of my just favorite eucalyptuses. And I love this one too, y'all. This is polyanthemus. And it has a larger flat leaf that dangles. It's not, I have to figure out what that's called when the stem goes through the leaf. That's how most eucalyptuses are, but not this one. Totally love polyanthemus. And then let's look at some warm season seeds that you can start that are green. Green tails amaranth. That is really cool. And then Love and a Puff. We always grow this on our tunnel every year. Those vines do hydrate really well. Totally love them. They are so fun. The kids love. Do you know that the seeds have little hearts on them? I mean, that's the way it is. Kids love picking the seed pods and discovering that inside. It is really, really fun. And green drop grass is also another really fun one. As well as one of my favorites, purple frosted explosion grass. And we have finally perfected growing that really tall, and it's beautiful. But look at this one, y'all. Limelight millet. This is really a useful flower. We used to plant this every week just like we did sunflowers. And then, of course, our baseline for foliage is Miss Burns Lemon Basil. So love this. The smell, I mean, that's what the seedlings I had. Nobody has ever said, I don't like that smell. You know, they love that stuff. And then look at the Sunfill Sunflower Green. So this is what it will ultimately bloom out as. But y'all, it's the top that we're growing them for. This is the bud, and we use it as filler at that point. And then look at Sylphid. Sylphid is a Celosia plume, and it is such a great neutral color. It's kind of white-green. We grow a lot of Sylphid around here. And then look at Sunday series came out with the green too. And it's just a different shaped bloom than Sylphid. And then of course, where would we be without Act Coxcomb? You know, I love to grow Coxcomb. The green ones are just, these are single stems. Totally love them. That's the Act. And then this is the Spring Green. You can see there's more ribbons. Look at that, and then look at this. Tighter ribbons, looser ribbons. They're just different. And then, of course, Queen Series Lime Green Zinnia. Totally love that one. So that's lime. I mean, that's Queen, which is beautiful. It's not the biggest. Then we have the Benary's Lime Green, which is a little bit bigger. Just a more doubled, more layers of petals to me, it seems. This has been a favorite for years. And then I absolutely love, y'all know that I love growing these spinning gourds on our tunnel out there. And this is what they dry to, these little like miniature little birdhouse gourds. And we paint them. Susie made little ghosts out of them. We did Christmas ornaments out of them. There's a lot of fun stuff. A lot of crafting potential with the spinning gourds, and they're incredibly prolific. So you don't need but a couple of vines to get a bunch of actual gourds. So it's time to wrap up, friends, and just a reminder at the very end, I'll be doing that Q&A. And remember, if you pop over to thegardenersworkshop.com, we have so many free resources for you over there. We have videos, we have blogs, we have 2 podcasts. There's Field and Garden that I host, and then we have Seed Talk with Lisa and Lane. And remember that on Wednesdays, the Gardener's Workshop hosts an open mic, kind of, almost, Ask a Flower Farmer, or sometimes it's Ask a Florist, on Wednesdays at 12:30 Eastern Time on our Instagram account, where you can submit questions to be answered. And remember to meet us back here next Friday for the live shopping show. Oh my, next week is weed prevention tips and techniques. I love doing that, y'all. So now it's time to pick our lucky winner. And I wonder who that's going to be. Oh, we do have a winner, y'all. Do we need a drum roll? Wendy Rogers. Wendy, if you are here, give us a shout out in the comments. Wendy Rogers, if you're here, you have just won $25 store credit. The girls, as soon as you say you're here, the girls will drop that into your cart. And so when you go to check out, you'll be $25 ahead, right? So friends, if you're signing off now, thanks for joining us. And now let's head into the Q&A. All right. Are Bells of Ireland one and done? So that really can depend on where you are. So we're in the South, we're in Virginia. And so what that means to us is the central stem and any side shoots that grow during the cool, wet, not necessarily wet, cool, warmish, kind of like cool nights, warm days, all of that grows, we get a great cutoff of it, but it doesn't regrow. So while we do... Oh, she's here? Yep. Congratulations. I'm so glad you're here. The girls are dropping that $25 store credit into your cart right this minute. So Bells of Ireland can give you more than a stem, but for us, it is basically a one and done. We don't really get any extra growth out of it. What size paper sleeves is used for 10 sunflowers? So if you're making sunflower bouquets, because we would never sleeve florist deliveries, right? I would use the 20-inch for sure. I mean, unless you're talking about sunflowers, really small, but I would say the 20-inch, either the craft or the plastic ones. How old are the eucalyptus seeds that you showed? January 9th. What's today? What is today? I'm looking.
14th.
March. So they're 2 months old. There, that's it. You know how many ways you can kill a eucalyptus in that amount of time? Same thing that's why we don't grow Lizzies from seed. And in fact, Jenny Love told me, Lisa, I can't even believe you still grow eucalyptus. Why aren't you buying plugs? Because I just don't need that many, right? So they're super slow growers. And when you have slow growers, look, there's a root right there. When they're slow growers, it's easy to overwater them and kill them. So yeah, so they're 2 months old. And 3 months is kind of what we've learned is how they'll be big enough for us to plant out in the garden. Zone 9A, wouldn't it be too soon to start zinnias to plant out after my last frost? The weather here still isn't warm enough. So 9A, yeah, so it's too early for us, but of course I demonstrate year round, but you just need to find out when is you're looking for 60 degrees at night. Forget daytime temperatures. 60 degrees at night and rising for the next 2 weeks, and you're heading into the heat, summer, right? So for us, we start planting a week or two after our last frost date, unless we're using hoops and row covers. So yes, they love it warm and hot, so give that to them, right? Do you have wreath making classes? We do not, because we don't even make wreaths very often. I have made that beautiful pepper wreath, but sorry, we do not. What did you do? I knew somebody was going to ask this. What did you do to get a good height on your frosted explosion grass, as you mentioned? So it really, we've always treated grasses like second-class citizens around here. They just weren't very showy, and so they just often didn't get planted on time. They didn't get watered, perhaps, like they should have. And so when we started the grasses, when I did my book, the Cut Flower Handbook, we did a huge section in there, right, on grasses. And grasses got really important all of a sudden. And what we found is starting the seedlings, we plant the frosted explosion out when it's 2 to 4 weeks old, depending on, we really love to get them on the early side of 3 inches, right? So we can get them out in the ground and just be sure that they get irrigated. But we had some, I think we probably had 36-inch frosted explosion more than once now. But we're getting 30 inches plus on a regular basis. So it basically came down to planting them on time, planting them into a good spot, instead of me sticking them at the end of a row where it's like, that's not the best spot, but they'll be all right. Do you know what I mean? Just giving more attention and effort to them is what really sealed the deal for us. All right, so let's do that last question down there. You mentioned planting out your eucalyptus mid-April. Do you plant your eucalyptus in your main rows or separate location to overwinter? And do you put fertilizer on when planting? What a great question. So eucalyptus technically, unless you live in the deep south, is a tender annual, meaning it doesn't survive our winters typically. I live in zone and garden in zone 8A. And with some added protection, we can winter over eucalyptus. The big benefit of overwintering eucalyptus is the second year's growth is 20 times more than the first year's growth. So it's worth doing. So to answer your question, we try to plant it where it's not in the main working cutting garden. But if I do that, then it often gets kind of forgotten, like I was talking about that frosted explosion. I mean, out of sight, out of mind, right? So I have been planting it at the ends of a bed in the working cutting garden that it's easy to tear down the rest of the garden, but leave the eucalyptus. And then we cut it back to 12 inches in the fall, winter. Once winter starts coming, mulch it deep, like you can't even see the plant with loose leaves. Then we hoop and double row cover it, and it goes to bed for winter and does really, really well. All right, so I think that's going to wrap it up for us today, friends. And thanks for joining me. And remember green. And I'm telling you, we can't wait for y'all to get some of these flower caddies into your hands. That was just one of, on all levels, from home gardeners to flower enthusiasts that were picking up flowers from us to us as a flower farm. We just found them incredibly useful, and we're just so excited that they're being made again, and they're even closer than they were before, so it makes it more possible. All right.